This is the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show, a weekly recap of your Philadelphia Eagles. Broadcasting live from Hard Rock Cafe in Philadelphia, tonight's show is brought to you by Penn Community Bank, Hard Rock Cafe, Philadelphia, Independence Blue Cross, The Capitol Grill, Rob's Automotive and Collision, and BCWSA. We now go live to the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Center City, Philadelphia for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and Paul Domowitch.
And welcome, everybody, to the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show, the WBCB show from our beautiful Hard Rock Cafe at 12th and Market Streets, right here in downtown Philadelphia. Paul Jolovitz, along with Paul Domowitch, our guest. You might know him, Coach Dick Vermeil, Super Bowl coach of Philadelphia Eagles, won a Super Bowl in the Hall of Fame. He'll be here in a few minutes. A little traffic out there. Domo, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, Jolly. How about you?
Everything's good. Another week gone through. Thursday night game, Eagles win. 8-0. I know everybody's getting the hangover over the World Series. The MLS, Philly lost 2 championships in the same day, Domo. Only city ever to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't a good weekend for Philadelphia.
Not a good weekend. We're going to try to brighten your spirits with the Eagles, who have brightened everybody's spirits thus far. We'll talk to Coach, obviously, a lot about the Birds in the NFL while we have a few minutes here. 8-0, the Thursday night win over Pittsburgh. Washington coming up. Whoever made the Eagles' schedule this year, was their last name Hurts or Sirianni, do you think?
Yeah, it's well, I mean, it was favorable regardless of how you position most of this schedule. And, you know, a lot of the good teams have turned out to be not so good, like Green Bay, which they'll play a little bit later on. I mean, they do play Tennessee at some point, but, you know, most of the tougher games are going to be at home. So, yeah, it's a blessed schedule.
You talk about surprises, Damo. I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming with Green Bay. I know they lost Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
But listen, he's not Jerry Rice plus. I mean, you lose one player, you should be able to make up for it. Watching Aaron Rodgers flounder like he is, I got to admit I enjoy it because I don't like Aaron Rodgers. But that is completely shocking. If you said what's the biggest surprise of the season, for sure to me it's Green Bay. You?
Yeah. I mean, it's more than just their wide receivers, although his lack of trust in the people they do have has not helped. I mean, it's his whole attitude towards it, I think, has affected the way he plays, the way he's throwing the ball. I mean, yesterday was the worst game I've ever seen him play in his life. I mean,
pretty bad.
The 3 interceptions, I believe, matched. He's only done it twice in his career.
Red zone, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Last 2 one in 1878.
Just awful throws. So.
Yep.
And now, I mean, their defense, they're losing players left and right.
Yep.
I mean, so that's not a team. I mean, you could look at some teams that are going to bounce back. Maybe Tampa Bay, who, you know, I think will, especially in the NFC South. I mean, they're already back in first place.
How about Brady winning the game yesterday? But and I know he doesn't care about this. I don't care about it either, but it is impressive. Regular season and playoffs, 100,000 yards. That's not easy to do. For you know, from perspective, Drew Brees second, 14,000 back. That's a lot of yards, Donald.
Yeah, I think he stopped caring about records a long time ago.
Yeah, I think he did too. And
yeah.
You see how much he cares about winning. I'm not going to make the mistake tonight about saying we're halfway through the NFL season because that doesn't exist anymore. You'd have to talk at halftime of the 9th game, which is next Monday night against the Washington Commanders. But nobody expected this 8-0, Damo. What's the biggest surprise thus far? Buffalo losing yesterday, pretty much the Eagles, by acclamation, are the number 1 team in the NFL now, which doesn't mean anything except that in itself. But, boy, they're driving on all cylinders now, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, they're as complete a team as there is in the NFL. I mean, most power rankings this week are going to have them number 1, obviously, if they hadn't already.
The Damo rankings have them number 1?
That's right. 33rd team rankings will be out after tonight's game, and they'll be number 1. Which, you know, I mean, after Buffalo, I mean, I had Buffalo before that. You know, Buffalo's struggling, especially if Josh Allen's injury is serious. I mean, they got some big problems.
Let me ask you one question about that 33rd website. You write for the website. You do a great job. There are a lot of great people on the website. See Mike Martz do a lot of stuff for them. What's Mike Martz doing now other than that?
Boy, I don't know what else he does, but, I mean, they've got like 50 people, you know, ex-players and coaches and people that do video for them. So.
Well, speaking of Mike Martz, Mike Martz was an assistant to some guy the coach for the Rams. That guy took over the Rams job. He started with the Eagles in the 70s. He was a special teams coach. The first special teams coach in the NFL. He won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. My father is 92 years old. My father comes from Canton, Ohio. Our guest tonight has a permanent residence now in Canton, Ohio, as a member of the Professional Football Hall of Fame. Everybody, let's welcome Mr. Dick Vermeil. How are you?
Good evening, good evening. Sorry I'm a few minutes late.
That's all right. You're allowed to be late when you're in the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Gives
Coach,
you a permanent pass.
Absolutely. Right away, I mean, there's obvious lead to the question being viewed tonight is, what's it like to be immortalized? I mean, you are an immortal of football now, Hall of Fame.
Well, you know, I've really sort of had a hard time putting it into a package that you can live with on a daily basis and say this all really happened.
It did.
You know, it's really humbling. It really is. And I've been stopped many times by people that normally wouldn't stop you and say, geez, Coach, I thought you were already in there. But anyway, congratulations. But thanks to Paul here and the other voters, I'm in. And it's still, even months after the induction on August 6th, I still sort of say, I can't really believe it.
I understand that the hotel rooms in a 50-mile radius of Canton, a lot of the hotels have closed now that you're not being inducted again. You had more people at that induction than anybody else in the history of the Hall of Fame. Is that a possibility?
I kind of doubt that. You know, that Peyton Manning's in, you know. I kind of doubt it. I had a lot of people there, no question, and it was fun. It was it's an experience that only gifted writers like you guys can write and put into words so other people can read it and understand it. But I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
You know, it really makes you stop and pinpoint different things, the decisions you made and the decisions other people made that benefited you, that put you in a position to be elevated into a Hall of Fame position. It's I'm enjoying it, though, I'll tell you that.
You should.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. Yeah, I mean, you know, Dick, we spent about 2 hours together in the spring for a profile I was doing. And, I mean, he kind of connected the dots on you know, people that, you know, that he was associated with that helped him get another job.
Yeah.
You know, things that happened. You look back on that Super Bowl game with the Rams.
Yeah.
You know, the guy coming up a yard short for the touchdown. You know, it's just phenomenal how this fate kind of everything.
Yeah, there are so many things. If on that specific day, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame. And that's why I included John Shira. When the unveiling of the bust, he had to be there. If he hadn't played well against Ohio State, we wouldn't have won, and Leonard Toast wouldn't call me.
But you're so humble, Coach. It's not like
it's the truth.
Hit a 6-run homer one day and you got lucky and somehow chain of events. You earned everything you got, and you know you
Well,
did.
I hope I made a contribution to it, but you know, you have to fall into it's not a pattern of good luck, but a good fortune and good people.
Yeah.
You know, and the combination that blends together, and then all of a sudden a lot of good things happen to you.
It's a great story about, I mean, you mentioned John Shira. He was not supposed to be initially part of your presentation. You kind of surprised the rest of the people with it and put him up there.
Well, you know, I also had the night before at the Gold Jacket dinner, I had Ron Jaworski with my wife putting on the jacket, Trent Green, and Kurt Warner, 3 quarterbacks. And when I said I was going to do that, the Hall of Fame organization said, you know, Coach, it's never been done. We'll have to check and see. I said, well, it's about time. I'm going to do it.
Good for you. You waited your whole life. I got a quick question for you, Coach. It has nothing to do with the Eagles, which we're going to talk about a lot tonight, about your winemaking business, broadcasting, and everything else that makes you so unique. I just want to ask this off the top of the cuff and get your gut response. What's your analytics is the study of numbers. Analytics scares some people, but everybody uses analytics in their daily lives. How fast do you go on a highway? That's analytics. Everything's analytics. Are coaches in the NFL and other sports obviously using analytics and depending on analytics too much these days?
In some situation, I definitely feel that way. Because analytics doesn't tell you who's injured that day. Doesn't tell you the weather conditions in the ball game. Doesn't tell who's not playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Who hasn't been playing and now back as the best pass rusher in the NFL. You know, there's a lot of things you got to be really careful you don't get trapped. In fact, I think there are certain coaches, even in the Super Bowl last year, the first fourth down situation in Cincinnati. And so he goes for it, gets beat. Boom, the Rams go down. You score. I mean, I have a hard time calling that smart. You know?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you how you felt about the plethora of teams that are just going for it on fourth down without even thinking anymore, including the Eagles. I mean, they're
well,
Eagles as much as anybody.
But they do as good a job as anybody or better, but they don't do it in
on their own
in
20.
ridiculous situations, you know, and just because it's analytically right to do. Because in my opinion, at the end of the season, they don't give you a report on how many times it backfired on them.
Yeah.
Listen, I could coach, if everything was analytics and we can transpose this to any sport you want, I could be hired to coach a Chinese rugby team because if it was all analytics, just give me the numbers.
You got to be careful how you say that today, you know.
Well, you might, but I mean, you have to be some knowledge of the game.
Chinese rugby team. Now that is real.
But you have to have the DNA of your sport to have the feel for everything that goes on, and not just look at a sheet. I think and I'm a big analytics guy, but it's gone way too far.
I believe that. You know, I'm one of the very first guys, because of George Allen, that got involved with the early stages of analytics through a guy named Bud Goody.
Yeah.
I still get his reports every Tuesday. I should have brought them tonight. I used it in coaching to tell me what they think is most important for in preparation and training camp in the off season, the emphasis of more time in these areas because they're proving to be more critical in the outcome of football games.
Yeah.
Just like the report puts a point value. For you throwing interceptions, it's 6.1 points. It ends up costing you in the winning margin. That's what it says. A fumble is 3-point-something points. So as you get going and coaching and teaching, and all coaches today harp on it, but when I was firstly in the National Football League, people didn't talk about giveaways, takeaways, turnovers. It's just part of the game. George Allen was the first coach I ever saw coach during practice takeaway techniques on the field. I'd never seen that before. Yeah.
All right. You started off as, I'm going to bring the church lady to this. You never thought you'd hear the church lady mentioned from Saturday Night Live. But the church lady, Dana Carvey, talked about things being not so special. You were special. The first special teams coach, other than Frank Gans, I think, in the NFL, coach for the Eagles. Coach, the Eagles were 8-0. A lot of things going right, but special teams didn't one of them. Michael Clay, the coach, gets blamed maybe too much. They don't have a lot of players dedicated to special teams. If there's one thing that could bite the Eagles, we'll start in the negative. What's wrong with the Eagles' special teams, in your opinion?
I don't think anything really wrong with them. They just, it's harder today to be spectacular on special teams. They call holding on every coverage team.
That's true.
Almost every. I mean, I don't why they just add on 10-yard penalty automatically, make the game go faster. But you stop and watch. Even last night, holding. All these things are slowing down the process. I don't think there has been a punt or kickoff return for touchdown yet this season.
There aren't many kickoffs returns.
There was a punt return yesterday.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there's 2 this year. Yeah. And I had, in my opinion, one of the finest punt returners in football, and that was Dante Hall at Kansas City.
Yeah.
And kick returns. In those days, it was easier to be more explosive. And they weren't as stringent in the what happened.
You had a wedge, first of all.
Yeah, you had more things, and you had the more time on the practice field.
Yeah.
See, now they cut practices 2 hours. That's 20 minutes off special teams. Now, I don't know how much special teams gets. I haven't asked a coach what division, how much they took off it. But we were at least 20 minutes a day, excluding individual punt and field goal work and fielding and that stuff. I mean, in teamwork.
All right, when we come back, I want to ask Coach a question, what he likes better. Will it be coaching related? We will see. Dom and I are having a great time. Coach Vermeil's here, and folks, you can enter to win a pair of Eagles tickets to the Eagle-Packer game. We talked about the Packers. Will the Eagles still be unbeaten? Well, we'll see. Thanksgiving Sunday, November 22nd, the Eagles and the Packers. No purchase is necessary. We got a bucket right up here, right at the foot of our table. Just submit your name, phone number, and email on your business card for a chance to win. Again, pick a pair of tickets for the Eagles-Packers game Sunday, November 27th. We'll draw them in a little while. Not tonight, but closer to the game. Submit right now, and we'll be back with the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff with Coach Dick Vermeil right after this.
Hard Rock Cafe has it all. Great food takes center stage as they tune up your visit with free live music every Friday night at 6. Sponsored by Conshohocken Brewing Company. See Philly's best rocking the main stage while you enjoy Hard Rock favorites right here in Center City. Pickup, delivery, and catering available. For more info, visit hardrockcafe.com.
I'm always striving to live my healthiest life, so I need a health plan that has my back. With Independence Blue Cross, I get access to the largest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free virtual doctor visits 24/7. Plus, with premiums as low as $0 per month, I can stay on top of my health and keep my budget in check. Independence has given me coverage I can count on, and they'll do the same for you. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Currently featuring a holiday promotion. If you reserve your party now, your guests are rewarded with 2 gifts of your choosing. Contract required. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Fall into relaxation at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. For an introductory price of just $69.95, enjoy the tranquility of their massage services and the rejuvenating glow their facial services provide. They even have specialty services such as a pumpkin facial or their signature hot stone massage. Restore, relax, and reset at one of Hand and Stone's 57 locations in Delaware, South Jersey, and Philadelphia, including the Lehigh Valley. For an introductory price of just $69.95. Call or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
We now return to the Hard Rock Cafe Philadelphia in downtown Center City for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and Paul Domowitch.
We are here at the Hard Rock Cafe with Coach Vermeil and the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff here at the Hard Rock at 12th and Market. Tell you a couple things about it. There's happy hour every Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with $1 off Bud Light, Sam Adams, and Blue Moon Drafts, $6 House Chardonnay and Merlot, and $5 Smirnoff, and Cruise Inn Ram singles. The liquor drinks, $7 for doubles. Join us here at Hard Rock for live entertainment in the cafe every Wednesday. Enjoy some great food and our happy hour drink specials every Wednesday from 5 to 7. And if that's not enough, and as David Letterman would say, don't you think it ought to be? Friday Night Live, live music, Friday at 6 to 9 p.m. No cover, the best local artists on the main stage every week. Make your reservations for all this. www.hardrock.com. Legendary Coach Dick Vermeil is with us. Coach has some things outside of coaching he's into. You were nice enough, and I mean, it was unbelievable to send Domo and I some beautiful Vermeil wines after the show last year. You're a vintner in California. You broadcast. My question around this is, Coach, you coached for a long time, but then you took a break, coached again, and you've done so many other things with your life. What do you like better? What's a better second career? What do you get more enjoyment from, broadcasting or winemaking?
Well, the broadcasting, you are physically and emotionally involved. Like you guys, it's you, okay? In broadcasting, it's you. In the winemaking, I'm like a head coach. I got a consultant, a consulting winemaker, a winemaker, a winery crew, and my group and I don't own the winery. We don't own the vineyard, though I was born and raised in the vineyard through family association. But so I'm just part of it. But when you're broadcasting, you're live, so it requires, to do it right, it requires a lot of preparation. I really enjoyed the preparation, and I really enjoyed watching other coaches coach every weekend. I saw some of the finest coaches that ever coached this game coach on the practice field, in the meeting rooms.
You've talked about how when you were broadcasting, you would go in early. I mean, all broadcasters typically go in early for production meetings and stuff. But I mean, you had access because of being an ex-coach. You really enjoyed those talks, long talks with the coaches when you went into
I'm invited into the offensive coordinator meetings, the game plan meetings, and the first 12 play meetings, and that kind of stuff. And it was really educational. It was like going to school every weekend because everybody was a little bit unique in their own preparation. You know?
And with that in mind, Coach, I'm going to ask you a question. It's not a question, and just get your stream of consciousness response. Nick Sirianni.
Doing really a fine job. A lot of poise. You know, I questioned the very little contact, giving work days off. I question all those, but you know, first off, when you have enough talent, it doesn't matter what you do. It's hard to screw them up, you know. But he's done a good job with them. They haven't been tested yet, but he's brought people along. The quarterback has really improved. The quarterback is now a quarterback. Yeah. He will end up being a top 5-6 quarterback, I believe.
Will you be shocked if they don't re-sign him in the offseason to a long-term deal?
Oh, I think it's a guarantee they will.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now you had 3 teams, I think, that went 6-0. The 81 team with the Eagles kind of, I mean, it didn't work out the way you had hoped.
No, that's part of my fault.
Yeah.
See, if I would have had a little more Nick Sirianni and me, because I kept thinking I could make him better.
Right.
I could get him to 7 by working him harder. And what I did is I ended up draining him a little bit. You know, and the other thing, in the old days, Shula, all of us, Lombardi's, you just kept trying to improve the plays you were running from a fundamental standpoint. Today, the volume of what you do, and when I came back in coaching, I understood the difference. You just keep adding offense.
Yeah.
You got so much, you know, our offense at the Rams and the Chiefs, we never repeated the same play until we were 4 weeks down the road. You know, so that's totally different.
You went 6-0 with the Super Bowl team with the Rams.
And we went 9-0 in Kansas City.
That didn't happen. I mean, so did you? At that point, by that point, you had changed your approach, hadn't you?
Yeah, a little bit. And I had 5 Hall of Famers.
That helps.
If somebody had told you that one of your Hall of Famers would be a guy that was stocking shelves the year before, you would have said what? Obviously, we're talking about Kurt Warner.
No way. I would. You know, it will never happen again.
I remember when this happened. Trent Green got hurt in preseason. Tore his ACL out for the year. This Ram team, the greatest show on turf, although you weren't called that quite yet. Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, the whole 9 yards. Your year was over. It was done. All of a sudden, you got to bring this guy in who was stocking shelves. Did you think any of that was possible? Was Kurt Warner, would he have done that with somebody else, or was it right time, right place?
You know, I think because of my background and how I came up into coaching to end up being in, I got to see a lot of young kids grow and progress, and always had a great empathy for the free agent, the Herman Edwardses of the world, and these kind of the London Fletchers and these kind of, I always would really hoping they would make it.
Right.
You know, and I love giving, in the old days, there was no limitation how many of those you could bring into camp.
Yeah.
Now there's a limitation. But with him, people forget he was with us a whole year as a third quarterback. So I watched him, and I've said this before on air, when you're not a head coach coaching your own offense or coaching your own defense and preparing to call the plays Sunday, on the practice field, you see more. You're much more observant of everybody.
Did you like practice more than games? A lot of coaches do.
Pardon?
Did you like the practice more than the games?
I enjoyed them. I used to hate training camp when the preseason game started because I really enjoyed the 3 weeks of just coaching, helping guys get better at playing their position. But see, in those days, you could design practices to improve individual performances within schemes. Today, it's because of the shorter practices and the limitations on players in training camps and all that. I think it's more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize about Jalen. His rookie season, that was COVID. Mm-hmm. They basically had virtual meetings that entire off season. Yep. I mean, they maybe spent 5 minutes in person with people.
Even during the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he had to learn that first season, which is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So, you throw that out. And,
no, that's a very good point. Plus, walkthroughs.
Yeah.
How can a walkthrough help a quarterback improve his accuracy?
Yeah.
Because the receivers aren't running. And in fact, last year, when I heard them say the last couple of weeks of the season, they went walkthroughs, I said, personally, I felt it's going to hurt the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's like taking a Major League Baseball player, pitcher, and he doesn't pitch all week until game day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you take him out in the 6th inning with 70 pitches, and Jordan Alvarez, never mind, that's bad. We'll worry about that in a second.
I'm too old-fashioned. Sandy Koufax and all
There we
those
are.
guys. You think
Go 9, that's right. All right, Coach, let's take a little word play here. Thursday night, the Eagles beat the Steelers 35-13. Friday, not much happened. Saturday, whatever. Sunday, the NFL games were played, and today, Saturday, came back to Thursday and Friday and Sunday because Frank Reich got fired and Saturday became the head coach of the Colts. Your thoughts on Frank Reich getting fired after that ridiculous explanation and Jeff Saturday out of nowhere from ESPN being named the interim coach?
Well, that's the owner.
Yeah.
That's a reflection of the ownership. And I think that's why Carson Wentz was let go, because the owner got mad at him.
Yep.
And so he got involved in the decision making. Frank Reich is a good football coach.
Yeah.
He proved that here. Okay? He proved
Super
that
Bowl.
here. He's a good football coach. But I think, to be successful as a coach, you need everybody to help you yourself look good, And I just question. I have never in my career evaluated a situation where they fired the head coach in the midseason and it helped the football program.
Yeah. And bringing in a guy that wasn't even with Jeff Saturday's a terrific
wonderful guy.
And I'm sure he knows a lot. He's,
Oh, yeah.
but he hasn't coached beyond high school.
Yeah.
And he's not familiar with anything they've been doing.
No.
And now they're putting him in
That-
that environment with coaches that that probably know they're not going to be retained.
And resent it.
Yeah.
Coach, we just went through a wild ride in this city. Red October became Red November. You guys had the Eagles in 1980 when all 4 teams made the finals. Obviously, you were the Super Bowl. Did it bring back any memories? You live in Chester County now. You became a Philadelphian for life. We all loved that you did, and we embrace you, and you embrace Philadelphia. What was this World Series vibe in this city? Did it remind you of times past in Philadelphia for you?
Oh, it did. Yeah, very much so, because the old vet, our offices, coach's office, were in the stadium. And you could walk out of the press box, and I can remember like it was yesterday. Mike Spitz at bat, and he hits a home run. And it's unbelievable. And you're sitting in preparing for your game as a coach, and you could not. You had to listen. You had to jump up and go out and see what happened. Go back and sit down, run the old film projector back and forth, and then the crowd would go crazy. And 4 assistant coaches would say, "Coach, we got to go see what's happening." It was exciting.
Hard to focus.
Yeah, it was a great time. And plus, in those days, remember, our locker rooms had a door in between them.
Yep.
So the Phillies would come into our locker room, and we would walk into their locker room. So there was camaraderie between the 2 teams on a year-round basis. Yeah.
If you were asked right now, and you're going to be, because I'm going to ask it, the Eagles are 8-0. Nobody thought they'd be 8-0. I thought they'd be 4-0, stumble along the way. Who knows what they'll be. But what's the best part and the most surprising part about this start in Dick Vermeil's mind?
Well, I think, because I've always been a guy, there's no correlation between working less and getting better. Well, they're doing it. So I like learning and saying, God, I guess I was wrong. But I would say this. I think the best part is Jalen Hurts, his improvement level. He occasionally threw a beautiful ball in a game last year. Now he throws them often.
Yeah.
He throws them. There's still things he can improve, in my opinion.
Everybody
I'd
can
like
improve.
to see the offensive pass protection start the fight closer to the line of scrimmage. They play a little softer pass protection technique than I'm used to.
Yeah.
And so he's always got people around him,
Yeah.
And but I tell you that the defensive scheme is playing very well. Cox is playing better, except for Thursday night. He didn't play well at all. But he's playing better, so they're getting more out of him. Hargrave, and every move that Howie made to improve the football team, he's 100%. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, Dom, Coach talks about Jordan Davis. In your opinion, how big a loss is Jordan Davis? 4 to 6 weeks. Hargrave, wonderful against the pass, but how much is this going to hurt the run defense for the Eagles in the short term?
Well, I think you've seen it hurt them. Although even before he hurt the ankle, the run defense was not. If you're looking for a weak spot on that defense, that was it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to kill them because
not many teams run the ball.
Yeah, they're ahead most of the time in the second half, so teams can't focus on it. But if they have to, when they play Tennessee, they're going to play they're going to play Saquon Barkley twice.
Anyone,
teams like that.
The other thing was glaring Thursday night. The running back. Did anybody know who that running back was?
Who, the kid from Florida, the rookie?
Yeah, the rookie in there. Really, no, he had no credentials.
Yeah.
No.
And he ran extremely well. But what was he running from? I formation.
Yep.
Where the whole league has become, in my opinion, two shotgun formation. Addicted, and it's hurting the real skilled running backs.
We got a break to take, but I got to ask you this because I'm sure I've asked you before, but in my opinion, I know about football compared to you. What I know compared to my wife knows about bottles of wine and stuff that you would be. But Coach, a team, in my opinion, should never, and I mean never, ever use the shotgun inside the 5-yard line or on the 1-yard line. It takes the entire chance of a run away from the game. I think anybody who uses the shotgun inside the 5 is making a mistake. Do you agree with that?
Well, I wouldn't do it. That doesn't make me right. So I'm not going to accuse him of making a mistake because there's more modern approaches to it. And they work so much on the shotgun stuff. See, and a great example was that the leading rusher from Dallas came here a few years ago, and they put him in a shotgun here, and he couldn't run. Because, see, it forces a little bit more of a point of attack running, and it's you're too close to the line of scrimmage when you get the ball, and you're at a dead stop when you get the ball, and it's just not as flexible running position for the real talented running back.
All right, we're being a little flexible now, going a couple minutes longer in our breaks because we have a legend here, Coach Dick Vermeil, packed here at the beautiful Hard Rock Cafe at 12th and Market. Dark outside, not our call, daylight savings time over with for the year. We're having a very light and bright time here with the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff. Remember, you can enter to win a pair of tickets for the Eagles and Packers Sunday, November 27th. Put your cards in the bin in front of us, your name, phone number, and email, or your business card for a chance to win. We're back with the Monday Night Kickoff. Coach Dick Vermeil and Paul Domowitch right after this. Stay with us.
Hard Rock Cafe in Center City at 12th and Market Streets has it all. Great food takes center stage with dine-in and pickup available. Their burgers are so famous, they have their own chauffeurs. So order delivery and catering too. So if you're celebrating or just getting the band together, Hard Rock Cafe's got your back. For more info, hit up hardrockcafe.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we believe in giving you the tools you need to pursue your healthiest life. From premiums as low as $0 per month to health discounts and cash rewards, it pays to have coverage with Independence. With the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free 24/7 virtual doctor visits, you can feel confident that quality care is always within reach. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Currently featuring a holiday promotion. If you reserve your party now, your guests are rewarded with 2 gifts of your choosing. Contract required. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Don't hang out alone in the man cave this football season. Hang out at Cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 Miller Lights, Jameson specials, and awesome game day prizes during all Sunday and Monday football games. Stop in before, during, or after the game to see your favorite entertainers and your chance to win an awesome game day prize. The most epic game day experience is at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, where champions play. Open daily from noon till 2 a.m.
Hard Rock Cafe in Center City at 12th and Market Streets has it all. Great food takes center stage with dine-in and pickup available. Their burgers are so famous, they have their own chauffeurs. So order delivery and catering too. So if you're celebrating or just getting the band together, Hard Rock Cafe's got your back. For more info, hit up hardrockcafe.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we believe in giving you the tools you need to pursue your healthiest life. From premiums as low as $0 per month to health discounts and cash rewards, it pays to have coverage with Independence. With the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free 24/7 virtual doctor visits, you can feel confident that quality care is always within reach. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Currently featuring a holiday promotion. If you reserve your party now, your guests are rewarded with 2 gifts of your choosing. Contract required. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Don't hang out alone in the man cave this football season. Hang out at Cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 Miller Lights, Jameson specials, and awesome game day prizes during all Sunday and Monday football games. Stop in before, during, or after the game to see your favorite entertainers and your chance to win an awesome game day prize. The most epic game day experience is at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, where champions play. Open daily from noon till 2 a.m.
We now return to the Hard Rock Cafe, Philadelphia in downtown Center City for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and Paul Domowitch.
This is the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show right here on 1490 WBCB 107.3 FM. You can also search Facebook Live and see us on Facebook Live by searching WBCB Sports. We will be here next Monday night. Eagles and Commanders Monday night game. We're not sure if we're going to be here at 5 or 6, so we'll try to keep you up to date throughout the week with Paul Domowitch and Coach Dick Vermeil. An incredible treat to have Coach Vermeil here. Coach, are you a screamer? When you're watching a football game, everybody yells at the coach, yells at the players. When you're watching the game in the privacy of your own home with your beautiful wife, Carol, are you a screamer or not?
Every once in a while. During the World Series baseball games, I found myself, screaming. The other night, Carol had left with the bed, and then we get the home run. I'm screaming, come on out here. Like, home run, home run.
Yeah,
Did you ever coach baseball? Did you ever play baseball?
No, I played it. I played it in high school, and I played it for the Napa Valley American Legion team, but never coached it. No.
I was screaming, too, when Schwarber tries to bunt with 2 strikes
Good
on
idea.
Bunting is a lost art in baseball.
Yeah, you got to do it a few times.
You know what? I learned the guys that broadcast the national game really do. They educate the listener.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
John Smoltz is really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
He is.
And the stats, now they're worse than they are in football.
Yeah.
I mean, they got how many balls, sliders, curves, all this. Unbelievable.
I know more
That's
about
right,
I know more about the science of pitching.
Yeah.
After that series from
you
listening
want
to
to.
Smoltz. Yeah, I guess maybe.
Yeah. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
Coach, what's your point of view on it? And my personal point of view is that individual awards don't really matter in sports. Of course, Hall of Fame being different, but, MVPs, statistical leaders, whatever. It's nice. It's wonderful to be recognized by your peers. But winning is what sports is all about. What's your point of view on an accomplishment like yesterday, which I don't put it down in any way, but it kind of takes a back seat? Tom Brady, 100,000 yards passing, which is ridiculous. In the regular season, the postseason combined. That record is amazing because it's taken forever, but what's your general point of view on individual records and awards?
Well, I respect him, and I appreciate what it takes because I've been around a few of those guys. I've been around a guy that was the first guy to run for 27 touchdowns in one season in Priest Holmes, and I knew what he did to do it and how many hits he's taken in his career to get to the point where he learned to ricochet and get off inside the 5-yard, inside the 10-yard running, these kinds of things. And Kurt Warner, the things that he did, no one will ever do what he did. Yeah. No one will ever do what he did. They talk about rookies coming in and playing well. We'll get him in 2 or 3 years. Here's 5 games. His first 5 performances as a starter in the NFL have never been equaled and will never be equaled again. I mean, you just pull them up and see like 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, something like that.
Was that system
unbelievable?
Driven? Was that him or the system that you provided? You and Mike Marsh provided.
If he can't do it, it can't be done. Okay, it was him, but the system helped him, and the skill around him, and Mike Martz, and our whole preparation helped him because he got a lot of coaching as a third quarterback. They don't do that anymore. You don't have the time. Yeah.
When you named him the starting quarterback after Trent Green went down, that press conference, you went up there, it's in the movie, where you stand up there and say, we're going to win games with this guy.
Yeah.
And Kurt's admitted, he doesn't know whether you really believe that, but the fact that you said it so profoundly, gave him confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, what was going through your mind when you did say that? Did you believe that he could do it? Did you just feel he needed that kind of confidence?
Well, I think, first off, you don't know. You can't prepare yourself emotionally and mentally at the same time for that kind of catastrophe and all of a sudden have to handle it and all of a sudden ask the question that people ask you.
Right.
It was my spontaneous response was as sincere as I could be because I believed it.
Right.
I said, we will go with Kurt Warner and we will play good football. I knew we would play good football because our football team was too good.
Yeah.
The whole team, we had no holes to fill. It was complete. Now all he had to do was run the engine, and drive it.
Ran it well.
Never did I expect him to put it in overdrive and just take off with it.
Well, translating that to the current Eagles and taking a look at this team, where they're going to go, Damo and I were talking a couple weeks ago, Coach, about the choices, a guy has to make, and Howie Roseman with the salary cap these days.
Yeah.
You had Wilbur Montgomery.
Here's the thing was easier for him.
What?
With his starting quarterback right now, he wasn't paying him $40 million in salary cap.
That's exactly right. When you
so
pay
if you're going to make good decisions, you make them now.
Well, that's where this question comes from. You're going to pay Jalen Hurts, which reduces the luxuries you're going to be able to afford. You had Wilbur Montgomery, you had Priest Holmes, you had Marshall Faulk, three pretty good running backs. The Eagles have someone now who's a pretty good running back, not in that league, but Miles Sanders, who they're going to have to decide on a contract for in the offseason. Is he a guy that you would tend to say, yes, obviously it depends on the money and everything else, but what's your point of view on Miles Sanders?
Any guy that's skilled that touches the ball, you pay him.
Interesting.
You can't buy his skills. In fact, he's better than we've given him the opportunity. He's been hurt. He's a little bit limited to show what he can really do because they don't let him run the ball more than 13 times a game usually, okay? If he, one game this year, he had to play more, and what happened? He kept getting better. Yeah. It's like teeing off on the first hole. Sometimes by the sixth hole, you're hitting the ball better. Running backs do the same thing. Yeah. They get better as you. And how about the guy last night?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
My God.
Not bad.
No,
and by the fourth quarter, you do not want to tackle him if you're a defensive player.
They're more worried about him. The people are more worried about him than he is them.
Are you worried about that game? We look at the schedule with the Eagles. Doubt they're going to go 17-0, but the possibility exists. I mean, they have a couple easy ones coming up. You can lose any game, obviously, in the National Football League any given Sunday. But that Tennessee game, a bunch of the division games, is the Tennessee game, the Colts with a new coach coming in, is the Tennessee game with Derrick Henry, given what the back did with Pittsburgh, a game to worry about it for an Eagle fan? Their defense is something.
Tennessee is not a good matchup for us.
No.
It's not. They are, to me, they're the toughest football team in the National Football League. And you don't buy that. You coach that.
Yeah.
They have done a great, Vrabel has done it. And I broadcast probably a dozen of his games in college, and I loved him because he was a tough kid, and he coaches tough. He doesn't talk about it, but you watch those guys play. They are tough, and they will be very, very hard to beat. When they get a starting quarterback back, they may end up being the best team in football.
They were the one seed down in the AFC 2 years ago. Everybody always forgets about them.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said earlier about the Eagles' run defense, it's one of their weak spots. Yeah. And they've got to play Saquon twice. They've got to play Henry. So they're going to be tested. We're going to find out
the other
before
test,
the playoffs whether they can stop the run.
Yeah, excuse me. The other test is being hit in the mouth 65 snaps in a row.
There's that too, yeah.
They hit you. They hit you.
A couple people have been hit 65 times in a row this year. A couple teams surprising people on the negative end, the Green Bay Packers. A couple on the positive end. We'll talk about somebody who used to work with the Eagles, whose team's having a hell of a season. We're taking a look at the first half of the NFL with Paul Domowitch and some guy named Dick Vermeil who decided to join us here at the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff at the Hard Rock Cafe. A lot of great people here enjoying food, enjoying all kinds of great stuff. Final segment follows this.
Hard Rock Cafe in Center City has it all. Great food, free live entertainment on Friday nights, and they're the epicenter for special occasions. Let them rock and roll to you with catering for your next gathering or book a private event space for your band's next meeting. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or late night, let them turn it up at Hard Rock Cafe at 12th and Market Street. For more info, visit hardrockcafe.com.
I'm always striving to live my healthiest life, so I need a health plan that has my back. With Independence Blue Cross, I get access to the largest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free virtual doctor visits 24/7. Plus, with premiums as low as $0 per month, I can stay on top of my health and keep my budget in check. Independence has given me coverage I can count on, and they'll do the same for you. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Currently featuring a holiday promotion. If you reserve your party now, your guests are rewarded with 2 gifts of your choosing. Contract required. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Fall into relaxation at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. For an introductory price of just $69.95, enjoy the tranquility of their massage services and the rejuvenating glow their facial services provide. They even have specialty services such as a pumpkin facial or their signature hot stone massage. Restore, relax, and reset at one of Hand and Stone's 57 locations in Delaware, South Jersey, and Philadelphia, including the Lehigh Valley. For an introductory price of just $69.95. Call or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
Hard Rock Cafe in Center City has it all. Great food, free live entertainment on Friday nights, and they're the epicenter for special occasions. Let them rock and roll to you with catering for your next gathering or book a private event space for your band's next meeting. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or late night, let them turn it up at Hard Rock Cafe at 12th and Market Street. For more info, visit hardrockcafe.com.
I'm always striving to live my healthiest life, so I need a health plan that has my back. With Independence Blue Cross, I get access to the largest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free virtual doctor visits 24/7. Plus, with premiums as low as $0 per month, I can stay on top of my health and keep my budget in check. Independence has given me coverage I can count on, and they'll do the same for you. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Currently featuring a holiday promotion. If you reserve your party now, your guests are rewarded with 2 gifts of your choosing. Contract required. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Fall into relaxation at Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. For an introductory price of just $69.95, enjoy the tranquility of their massage services and the rejuvenating glow their facial services provide. They even have specialty services such as a pumpkin facial or their signature hot stone massage. Restore, relax, and reset at one of Hand and Stone's 57 locations in Delaware, South Jersey, and Philadelphia, including the Lehigh Valley. For an introductory price of just $69.95. Call or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
Hi, this is Chief Joe Kelly from the Yardley Borough Police, inviting you to tune in to our Bucks Blue Show right here on WBCB. The third Tuesday of every month from 1 to 2 p.m. We'll be interviewing local Bucks County police officers who make a difference in our community. Tune in to this very informative show, Bucks Blue, the third Tuesday of every month from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on 1490 AM WBCB and also at 107.3 FM.
We now return to the Hard Rock Cafe, Philadelphia in downtown Center City for the Independence Blue Cross Monday night kickoff show. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and Paul Domowitch.
We are so indebted to Coach Dick Vermeil for coming out and joining us every year on this show. It's been such a treat at the Hard Rock Cafe. We're in the presence of greatness, Domo, and a strange question for you, Coach. Obviously, for a coach, you never want to lose a game, duh. But this Eagle team, 8-0, this is the 50-year anniversary of the Dolphins running the table. and going 17-0, including playoffs, including the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl and Super Bowl VII. If you're Nick Sirianni now, obviously he wants to go 17-0, but what for a coach would be better entering the playoffs? To be 16-1 or to have run the table, and with the incredible added pressure that takes? I believe the Billie Jean King line, the pressure is a privilege, but would you rather be 17-0 or 16-1?
17-0. Yeah, 17-0. You ride the wave. You ride the wave. And
is it harder to ride at that point? I assume it is.
It's just hard to get to the point where you are 17-0. You know, it's all this, so much of the pressure evaluation process is more by the people evaluating it rather than the people involved in it. You know, sometimes you're so enjoy the run you're on. First off, decisions get made quicker and easier because there's a deeper level in the confidence that you have developed in the process of making your decision. Boom, they come like that, and you don't walk out of the room thinking, I don't know if I made the right decision there, and you haven't even seen it work yet, But when you gain that kind of momentum, like in Kansas City, we were 9-0. I started thinking, there ain't anybody going to beat us. Now, we got beat. Yeah, we went 13-3. Yeah. We got beat, but you start thinking that way. You're not the only one that thinks that way. The only thing you got to be careful of is in preparation and in mental preparation game day that you're not mentally ready to go to that level that got you there. The physicals. It isn't automatic for you to be mean and tough every Sunday, and especially today.
Yeah.
Because the training camps are totally different. Yeah. And that's why I'm so impressed with Tennessee. How they do it, I don't know, but they do it.
Do you think it's possible they could go 17-0, or do you think something's going to happen at
Well,
some
my
point?
computer says it's going to happen.
Injuries and everything. Giants twice.
Plus, each week,
They'll be favored.
that team, and no matter what level,
You're
will
the
play
target.
its best effort. It'll have its best team meetings all week long, the best individual team, the best practices all week long because they're getting ready to play these guys.
And now with 17 games done, we've got a new target to shoot for.
Yeah.
You had an excellent point about Jalen Hurts and running the football. Throw it at the coach.
Yeah, this is a rule that they changed like several years ago, but Jalen's like almost sure money on quarterback sneaks. For a number of reasons, including the fact that he's got a fullback body. He can deadlift 625 pounds. He's a strong, strong body. But they've also kind of mastered the push.
Yeah, which was not legal.
Right, 2003 they changed the rule.
Yeah.
I think.
Was it that far back?
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize it.
Really?
Either.
But nobody has used it for most of these years, and they're putting Goddard like a foot behind him on these. They'll put him in motion. Yeah. They'll do all sorts of things, but he ends up right on his back and pushes him in. How do you feel about that?
Well, I was, as I really evaluate it, I think it's a little phony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks like a rugby score. Now, I saw for the first time last night, they put the man in motion and stop right behind a quarterback and becomes a pusher leader, So, it is what it is. But the reason I think Jalen is running so much better, is that there's more respect now paid to the total offensive scheme each time they line up. And they're still running the ride and decide type offense. And they all know if he decides to keep the ball, which he will, it's going to be a big run. And it's what's helping him also. It's limiting. They're getting more zone coverages than they ever got. That's why the tight end's running these seams and catching those balls. Yeah. They're playing man-to-man. It's tough, but you play man-to-man on us. I call us. Hurts, and when he takes off and run, they're all man-to-man unless they put a spy, and that hurts the defense in other ways.
Well, we know what AJ's doing. Devontae, I think Jalen Hurts just becoming an expert at his targets right now should continue to flourish there. Another team continuing to flourish as we approach the halfway point, which is halftime of next Sunday's games, is Howie Roseman. You had a coaching tree. Mike Martz came off that and plenty of others. Howie Roseman had a guy named Joe Douglas who went to the Siberia of the NFL, the New York Jets, a few years ago and kind of got lost in the shuffle. All of a sudden this year they have a couple high picks. They make use of them. A new quarterback. Jets are 6-3, beating the Patriots. Former Eagle Joe Douglas doing a hell of a job up there.
Yeah.
Do you know Joe? And what do you think about the job he's doing?
I don't know him personally. I've met him, of course, been around him, but I really don't know him personally. But anytime you do what they're doing now is an accumulation of efforts of a lot of bright people that are all working together. And actually, the two coaches they've had there before improved the football team in the way they played the game. They didn't win many games, but they were playing better. Yeah. They were playing better, and it's also now I reap the rewards of that when I went to the Rams, because they had been losing for 7 years and drafting early, and there was 10, 11 really good draft picks there, really ready to play good football by the time I become the head coach.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, Kevin Carter and these kind of guys, they're 18 sacked guys.
Yeah, he had like 12 sacks one day.
He had 18 the Super Bowl year. Yeah, and these kind of guys were very talented players.
Speaking of 18, Robert Quinn had 18 last year. Eagles just traded for him.
Yeah.
Think it'll help?
No question. It's impossible for a good pass rusher to not help you, especially in today's game.
That's, I mean, one of Howie's philosophy, and it's kind of been, I mean, it's been that way going back to Andy. I mean, build your offensive and defensive lines first. Build out, and then if you have strong offensive and defensive lines, your chances of winning are going to be good.
And what I think, now sometimes Howie doesn't get credit for it, but Howie is a reflection of all the philosophies. It's just not him. He's not. I don't think he's a dictator in making decisions. I think the coaches are involved, the staff is involved, and we all together will make mistakes. Yeah. But sometimes you make more mistakes when you're independently making decisions.
Real quick, we only got a couple minutes here, Coach. Eagles have a guy that has gone from somebody who never played football to a potential All-Pro in 4 years and is still just shooting up in Jordan Mailata. How amazing a story of his entire life and football journey is Jordan Mailata.
He's unbelievable. He has so much potential. If he were playing in an old-style offense where they put the offensive tackle puts his hand on the ground every snap during the game, and they come off the ball this way. See, a lot of teams are doing it now. They play in a two-point stance, and they don't block, they push. Yeah. And they move you horizontally along the line of scrimmage without a strong emphasis of knocking you off the ball. If he was in that type of philosophy, I think he could be a true dominating offensive lineman. And he's a good one now. The coach does a great job within the approach that they take playing offensive line, but it is different.
Yep.
You had mentioned that Jeff Stoutland, his approach is kind of to back up a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
well, they're in a two-point stance most of the game.
Makes for a tight pocket.
Yeah, and also increases the distance between you and the defensive lineman. Yeah. And I'm worried about the great defensive lineman that's explosive off the ball and attack you, and you're up here higher.
Yeah.
We used to say low man wins. But the whole game is played higher today.
I guess because one thing is so many of the defensive ends and edge rushers now are smaller and faster as opposed to the pass. So maybe that's how.
I don't know. Whatever he's doing it well.
Yeah.
But it's a philosophy, you know.
Well, that's a good place to stop. Whatever he's doing it well. That describes Coach Vermeil, who coached the Eagles, coached the Chiefs, coached the Rams, is now a coach for eternity in the Hall of Fame. Coach, thank you so much for being here. I'm sure the people agree with me.
Pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, thanks. We'll look forward to having you next year.
Thank you.
When you're 87 years young. It's an amazing, amazing thing. Damo, you helped put Coach in the Hall of Fame. Thank you so much.
No question he did.
Yep.
Yeah, no question. These guys don't realize they set the tone. And Sal Palantonio was the deliverer of the message, right? Yeah, anyway, I lucked out.
You should have been in a while back. So
there's guys like I can name 5 or 6 guys that ought to be in there.
Jerry Rice lucked out too. So did a lot of Hall of Famers. You belong there, and we belong here next Monday night. We'll give you our guest as we come along the road. Chris Irmer produced this fine program. Appreciate it. Keith Noonan helped back at the station. To Paul Domowitch and my wives, Amy and Shelley, thanks for coming out tonight, and thank you all for coming out to the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff. Eagles and Commanders next Monday night. Thanks to Coach Vermeil. This has been the Monday Night Kickoff for Paul on Paul. Have a great week, everybody, and go Eagles!
You've been listening to the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Tonight's show is an exclusive presentation of WBCB 1490 and 107.3 FM and heard around the world at WBCB1490.com.